Okay, let's do this. Part 2, episodes 5 to 9. I'll try to get you out of here as soon as possible. So let's begin right away. Episode 5, the bottle episode. Some have said it's the greatest single episode of Daredevil. I think it's utter trash, but you already knew this. Just to give a skinny summary, Matt is at a bank on St. Patty's Day to get a loan when it's robbed by a bunch of Irish thugs, and Matt stays to foil the bank robbers. That's the story in a nutshell. It has nothing to do with the main storyline at all. So just to recap, we got next to nothing when it comes to story in the first 4 episodes, and now we get a standalone bottle episode.
Shit. This is a goddamn waste of time.
Fucking hell.
Now, back to the main story of the episode. Matt is talking to one of the most unprofessional loan officers ever. He rambles with small talk about Jersey City and pointing out Matt isn't wearing green.
I don't care.
Then, of course, his ramblings take us to his daughter, Ms. Marvel.
Fucking hell.
So not only does this useless bullshit dialogue have nothing to do with the main storyline, it doesn't have any relevance to the storyline of this episode. So instead of setting up a story, we get a commercial promoting Marvel's other properties within the show.
Bunch of fucking nonsense.
Anyway, we finally get to the resolution of why Matt is there in the first place, and his loan request is denied. He gives a sob story that what he does is good work in defending people that can't afford to be defended, which might be true in some cases, but it has nothing to do with the loan officer's job in evaluating an approval for a loan. So the narrative is, if you are a good person with bad credit or show a lack of consistent income, you should still be approved of a loan.
Get the fuck out of here.
And just for the sake of it, let's assume this narrative is true. When one is unable to repay the loan, just by the perception of being a good person, good being in quotes, the remaining unpaid balance of the loan should also be forgiven. Thus, the bank should eat the debt.
Are you fucking joking?
And let's assume this narrative and the bank does these things because it has a heart. What is the end result? Obviously, the bank will go under and all the employees will be laid off. One less bank means less credit to be lended, meaning less investments to be made and higher interest rates to the consumers in general. So everyone gets screwed over in the end because the bank tried to be a nice guy, resulting in less jobs offered, less money lended, and less loan competition, resulting in higher interest rates paid.
That's fucked up.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Anyway, then a gang of Irish thugs walk into the bank with assault rifles and hold the bank hostage. Matt, having already left the bank, using his acute hearing with built-in noise cancellation, hears the robbers' demands and goes back into the bank. So with all the hostages now in a group, the head thug asks for the bank manager, who isn't there, and Ms. Marvel's dad is the next in charge.
How convenient.
They tell him to open the vault when the cops arrive outside. We find out they're tasked with retrieving something in the vault, but Ms. Marvel's dad doesn't have access to open it. Then we switch to the cops, and we meet Detective Angie Kim, who is the head negotiator and one in command outside. We have to discuss this for a second. Supposedly, Detective Kim is in charge because a bunch of cops were out drinking the night before St. Patty's Day. How does that make any sense? Next, she holds the rank of detective, which is the second lowest rank of the police force, but she's the officer in command?
What the hell?
And finally, look at this body language. Does she even look like she gives a shit about the situation at hand? It looks more like she's pissed off for being dragged into this situation rather than invested in resolving the dilemma. I mean, if she doesn't want to be there,
Then quit, you slimy fucking walrus looking piece of shit!
Anyway, the head thug calls, and we get a cringy dick measuring back and forth dialogue that results in 2 hostages being set free. Matt is one of them, but talks his way for him to stay, which is stupid. If the head guy wants to show everybody he's in charge, what he says goes, right?
Yeah.
Now let me state that this episode, taking out the opening recap, the opening credits, and the end credits, is less than 35 minutes long. At this point of the episode, we're already halfway into the episode, meaning it took over 50% of the episode just to set up everything in place.
So you're what? God damn it, are you fucking with me?
So now, after a little bit more of pointless small talk, Matt tells the thug he has to take a piss.
Fucking hell.
It's only obvious Matt was a pain in the ass hostage in the first place, which is why the head thug chose him to be released. If he was a pain in the ass then, of course he'll be a pain in the ass the rest of the way. So him letting Matt go is just beyond stupid.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, as a thug guides Matt to the bathroom, apparently there isn't one on the same floor as the bank. Instead, he's led down a staircase where he incapacitates his captor silently. Of course, the thug doesn't call out for help. He just quietly gets his ass kicked.
What else is new?
In the meantime, Ms. Marvel's dad is stalling for time, telling inane facts about the bank. Now, I understand the thug can't kill him because he's supposedly the only one who can open the vault. However, there's no reason why he can't give him a kiss with his rifle butt, or even cap him in the knee. Instead, he just verbally threatens him pointlessly.
Stupid!
And this is supposed to be the best Daredevil episode?
This is shit, but hey.
Finally, Matt arrives and knocks out the thug, when there's a call from the head thug asking for the status of the vault. Then Charlie Cox gets to use his real voice in disguise of the thug.
Get the fuck out of here.
So then, Matt opens the vault with his acute hearing. Then we get more thug-cop interaction displaying the absolute shitty acting. Again, we get the pointless small talk banter that results in the head thug asking to be told a joke, and if he laughs, he'll release 3 more hostages. So what do you think happens? She tells a stupid joke, and the head thug laughs. And this is supposed to be the best Daredevil episode?
This is shit, but hey.
Anyway, Ms. Marvel's dad opens the safety deposit box and they find a large yellow diamond. Then Matt hears the cop preparing for a full breach, even though the officer in command has no say.
What the fuck is this?
Makes no sense, but what else is new? Then Matt tells the head thug to let the hostages go in exchange for the diamond because the cops are going to breach the bank. And in breaching the bank, the cops actually count down from 10.
Fucking hell.
When he counts down, Matt throws the diamond up in the air and the head thug catches it and the cops toss in a smoke grenade. In the smoke, the head thug changes, revealing a cop uniform underneath. As the thug sneaks out with nobody knowing the wiser, Matt follows him, putting on the balaclava and beating the shit out of him. And that brings us to the epilogue portion of this episode, where Matt is granted a loan by Ms. Marvel's dad, and he finds a diamond in his candy bowl. The end. And this is supposed to be the best Daredevil episode ever?
This is shit, but hey.
As a heist episode, nothing is clever. Nothing is thought out. There are no contingency plans stated. Shitty acting and shitty dialogue. Not once was there any tension that Matt was in any danger whatsoever. Even the procedure is not consistent. An entire episode completely wasted. Now let's move on to episode 6. We resume the main story again, and we begin with one of BB Urich's propaganda reports. One citizen identifies himself as a graffiti artist, and as a graffiti artist using public and private property as his canvas, not only in his mind is he breaking no laws, but rather just minding his own business, peacefully expressing himself.
Oh, fuck you!
Then we get some other citizen showing a video of some person defending himself with a foil, and stating that the cops are pretty much useless in policing the streets. Then we get Matt saying a prayer amidst a bunch of flashback events in the previous episodes. And we get a mob boss visiting Kingpin in his mayoral office. Then we get this intercut dialogue of Matt and his girlfriend talking about vigilantes, with the mob boss and Kingpin talking about the debt he needs to pay. In regards to character development, it shows how shitty of a character Kingpin is, where a mob boss outright refuses an order to his face. That would never happen in the comics. And with Matt and Heather, this conversation proves how their relationship is totally contrived. There is no way Matt would want to hold this relationship, let alone begin it in the first place. So now we begin the Muse storyline. With a large mural painted on a building, they find out it was painted with human blood. Then at Matt's office, White Tiger's niece pays him a visit, stating that White Tiger
Cholo.
was investigating the missing people Muse has been abducting, and basically demands Matt to do something about it.
Shit.
Now, he is just a defense attorney. He ain't a cop or even a private investigator, and Matt rightfully says, "What the fuck do you want me to do about it?" Then she gets all bitchy and bratty saying that Matt's a fancy lawyer, supposedly defending the little guys, but does nothing when asked to do something about it.
You little fucking cunt.
And what does Matt do? He does what he's been doing the entire show. He just sits there holding his dick, letting the ignorant bitch spew her bullshit narrative.
Absolute cunt.
Then we cut back to Kingpin having a meeting with the cops. He tells them to not alert the public on Muse, and then he goes to another mayoral meeting, speaking to other board members of the city council. They don't align with his vision of the city. What else is new? Then Cherry tells Matt the news at the police precinct that Muse has allegedly killed 60 people. 60 people?
Are you fucking joking?
Where's the news reports? Where the fuck is BB Urich talking about it? Why has it been 60 people until the news actually begins to cover the story?
This is bullshit.
Back with Kingpin, he tells the police commissioner that he's creating a task force to capture Muse, handpicking all the dirty cops to combat vigilantism in the city. Then we see White Tiger's niece going into the subway tunnels. Now that the people know there's a serial killer on the loose and she's trying to find out more about it, what the fuck is she gonna do if she encounters him? What the fuck is she gonna do if she encounters any bad vagrant?
You stupid fucking cunt.
Anyway, it's unclear how long she's been gone from home, but her aunt calls Matt, informing him that she's missing.
Fucking hell.
I mean, she could have called the cops, but she calls Matt, who happens to be Daredevil.
How convenient.
So Matt calls 911, but hangs up and decides to suit up as Daredevil, and we get this slow-mo of Daredevil swinging that is supposed to be heroic and uplifting, but in reality is absolutely cringe-inducing trash. And of course, like the dumb puta she is, the niece ends up becoming Muse's victim.
Fucking hell.
Once again, let's review the facts. Muse has allegedly already killed 60 victims. Obviously, the cops had no leads. The news had no stories to run until just recently for some reason. Then the dumb puta goes into the subway tunnels. Why? Who knows? It's not stated. But Muse is there, and Matt makes a fucking beeline right to Muse's lair.
Fucking hell.
Now, there's no explanation of how he knows where to go. He had no idea where the puta was to begin with, and with zero intel and info, Daredevil seemingly knows exactly where to go.
What the fuck is this?
If you discount everything I've said in my previous video, and you still gave the show the benefit of the doubt, surely now you have to admit the story is totally contrived, yes?
Yeah.
So Daredevil beats up Muse until he's unconscious, and then revives the puta. Once she comes to, he looks over and Muse is gone.
What else is new?
And the fight scene with Muse is intercut with Kingpin beating up Adam. It's a cheap way of hiding the cuts. Kingpin throws an axe over to Adam, giving him a chance to fight back. And as you can see, Adam might have a long beard and long hair, but now you can see how well nourished he has been for all the time he's been in captivity.
Stupid!
And so ends episode 6. Another shitty episode. A bunch of mayoral bureaucracy, Matt being lectured at while sitting there holding his dick some more. Do we get any backstory on Muse? Why he does what he does? What his motivations are? No. We got all of jack and shit about him. But let's continue. Episode 7. We begin the episode with Kingpin giving his lackeys a rambling speech when they finally tell him that the dumb puta survived Muse's attack and was allegedly rescued by Daredevil. Then Matt and Heather have a conversation that once again proves why they shouldn't be in a relationship in the first place, so this is all just bullshit filler dialogue. When Matt gets to his office, Cherry is waiting for him, and he straight tells him that he found Muse in one night and prevented a death from happening. Again, no explanation on how he found him, but he found him.
It's a complete crap.
So Matt asks Cherry to find out any info from his contacts for any new Muse sightings, but Cherry refuses to help him, supposedly trying to steer Matt away from being Daredevil again. I mean, he saved the little puta. That's an undeniable fact, and Muse is still out there, most likely going to kill again, and Cherry refuses to help?
You fucking asshole.
Back with Kingpin, he goes on a diatribe against Daredevil rehashing old events. An absolute waste of screen time. We already know of his disdain for Daredevil. No need to visit the same real estate twice. Pointless filler.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Then Matt talks to the dumb puta, looking to glean any new info. I mean, she was unconscious the entire time, but apparently she heard and saw things still.
Oh, yeah?
I'm sorry, but this is some fucking shitty writing on top of some shitty directing. The show is making shit up as it goes to tell this shitty story. Then we see Vanessa meeting up with the disrespectful mob boss and asks her for permission to whack Kingpin, and she doesn't say no. Then we see Heather having a therapy session with Muse, intercut with the Asian detective telling Kingpin who Muse is. The thing that points the finger to him being Muse is he took Taekwondo classes and his family hired a renowned master to train him.
Get the fuck out of here.
This shit is so fucking contrived, and this is supposed to be a fucking good show?
This is shit, but hey.
Anyway, Muse reveals himself to Heather. Daredevil goes to Muse's hideout, and apparently the cops not only didn't seal the crime scene, but they haven't bagged and collected the evidence to be sent back to the crime lab. All the shit is still there.
Are you fucking joking?
So Matt begins feeling all the drawings and discovers one of the drawings is Heather. Now, we see Heather all tied up with Muse, preparing to drain her blood when he hears cop sirens. She insults him, sending him into a rage, and he body slams her and starts choking her when Daredevil crashes through the window in the nick of time. Then watch this scene. Now, that has to be the slowest bullet ever shot from a 9mm. Again, this is supposed to be a good Daredevil show?
This is shit, but hey.
So while Muse and Daredevil are fighting, the cops are breaching the building. Before they get into the office, Heather empties the clip in the 9mm into Muse, then passes out due to blood loss.
Oh, man.
Daredevil leaves before the cops arrive, and Heather is saved.
Hooray! I don't care.
And that ends the Muse storyline.
So that's it?
Yeah.
With brief glimpses in a couple of previous episodes, his story arc is complete in less than an episode. Kind of a waste to a villain that has allegedly murdered 60 victims prior that we knew all of jack and shit about. But again, this is a good Daredevil show, right?
This is shit, but hey.
Then Kingpin tells his task force that they're going to take full credit for stopping Muse, and Tony Soprano Jr. tells BB to write a puff piece praising the cops, even though she knows the truth. Now, he does tell her to write this article or else. So what is she going to do? Is she going to stand with the people and tell the truth? Or is she going to capitulate and save her own job? Given how sanctimonious she is with all of her propaganda pieces, she'd be a hypocrite if she capitulates, right? And yet, she does. Because to these sanctimonious virtue signalers, there is no shame in being a hypocrite.
Fuck, motherfucker!
Fucking hell.
Then Vanessa texts the mob boss of Kingpin's location stating he's alone. As he eats dinner alone, with his back towards the door, the mob boss, who never changes his fucking clothes, steps up to shoot Kingpin when he's shot by Kingpin's lieutenant. And that ends episode 7.
This is shit, but hey.
I still think this was a shitty episode, but by default, it might have been the best episode so far. So what does that say about this show in its entirety?
This is some fucked up, repugnant shit.
Let's move on. Episode 8. We begin with Bullseye in prison, and to his surprise, he's being transferred from solitary to the general population. Then we move to Kingpin and Vanessa discussing their business. The entire show has them disconnected when it comes to their goals and ambitions, yet Kingpin goes to marriage counseling and states his undying loyalty to Vanessa.
Fucking hell.
Just to note, Vanessa never reciprocates these feelings.
Absolute cunt.
Now we move to Matt and Heather having a discussion about vigilantes, and she lumps in Muse with Daredevil, which Matt, and rightfully so, takes exception to that. He even goes on to point out the difference between them as one tried to kill her and one saved her. And right on cue, she powers up to girl boss mode and says,
I saved me.
Sheer fucking hubris.
You little fucking cunt.
and what do you think Matt says about that? He says, fuck all, and just stands there holding his dick again. And this is supposed to be a good fucking show?
This is shit, but hey,
Then there's a knock on the door, and it's Kingpin's lieutenant, coming to speak to Heather and give her an invitation to some party. We then cut back to Kingpin and Vanessa, where he presents Adam, locked up in his cell. He tells her that he kept his promise in not killing him, and we have to hear this well-fed, useless character bitch and whine incessantly. And let me state this. I don't like the staccato mumbling way Private Pyle speaks as Kingpin. Over time, it grows annoying. But he does utter the best line of the series with conviction here, and I approve of this when he says, "Shut up!" So Kingpin can't let him go, but gives Vanessa the choice to free him. But instead, she pops a cap into him.
Hooray!
And now they understand each other and are a couple again.
So that's it?
Do you see now how pointless the marriage counseling is? They could have just cut to the chase and just done this, if this contrived outcome was what they were going to present us with. All of that marriage counseling screen time could have been used for real storytelling.
It's all bullshit. All of it.
Back with Matt at his law firm, his partner tells him that Bullseye wants to talk to him for some reason. When they have a meeting with one of their clients, a client who is a white male, turns out to be a fraud lying about embezzlement. If him being a white male and being a liar wasn't enough, the guy is also amped up to be a douchebag with his feet on the table and pointing out his lawyers consist of a black woman and a blind man. Again, this client has nothing to do with the main storyline or even a B-plot storyline. It's just a show driving their woke narrative into our skulls. And this is supposed to be a good show, right?
No. Fuck that shit!
Then Matt leaves and goes back to the closed bar where Foggy was killed. Then out of dumb luck, Matt realizes that Foggy was going to win the case, which was the reason why he was killed, and now he needs to talk to Bullseye.
Fucking hell.
So Matt talks to Bullseye and asks him if Kingpin told him to whack Foggy. Of course, he doesn't say, nor does he say anything that is meaningful in general. It's a pointless meeting that once again, Matt leaves knowing jack and shit when he started and fucking all when he leaves. And this is supposed to be a good show?
Fuck you.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
Now, remember, Bullseye asked for a meeting to talk to Matt, and yet, after this meeting, we still have no idea why he asked to talk to Matt.
What the fuck is going on there?
Anyway, Bullseye manages to escape prison by spitting a tooth at a cop, and just dons a cop uniform and strolls out with the other cops, who are none the wiser.
What? God damn it! Are you fucking with me?
Now, if you remember, Bullseye was a cop killer, and cops tend to remember cop killers. Yet, none of these cops recognize him. Now you can see how contrived the show is, right?
Bingo!
Anyway, this is the night of some big party with all the rich and powerful elites of the city. Kingpin starts muscling the others into doing what he asked, which should have been done like 7 episodes ago. Bullseye seems to know there's a party too, and makes a beeline there. Heather is there, and Matt shows up, and uses his noise-canceling ears to eavesdrop on Kingpin's conversations. He eventually realizes that Vanessa was the one that ordered the hit on Foggy, and confronts her about it as they dance. Then Matt hears the bolt slide of the rifle, pointing at Kingpin, and Matt jumps in front of the bullets shielding Kingpin.
Why?
No, seriously, why would he do that? How does this make any sense whatsoever? If he's a pacifist, he wouldn't have pushed Bullseye off the building in the first place. And this is supposed to be a good show?
This is shit, but hey,
Now, let's just finish this. Episode 9. Finally, the last fucking episode. We had to slog through a sea full of shit filler just to get here. Now, if the show was drained of shit-soiled filler, we would have been here in 4 episodes. Anyway, we begin 1 year past with Vanessa talking to Bullseye, telling him he'll order his release if he whacks Foggy and his client, and we know the rest. Then we come back to the present with Matt in the hospital. He says he heard somebody scream, and he just reacted.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Remember, nobody got shot yet, so there's nothing to react to. And even if somebody did scream, why the fuck would Matt react the way he did? Why wouldn't he move in the opposite direction? Nothing tells him to move in the direction he did. So even when the show tries to explain their contrived story, it still makes no sense.
Fucking hell.
So Matt tells his partner that Vanessa put a hit on Foggy and he wants to see everything he was working on when Kingpin finally tells Vanessa about the port of Red Hook. Now, if he trusted Vanessa implicitly, which he says he does throughout the show, then why the fuck didn't he just tell her his plan all along? All of this other bullshit, the marriage counseling, the mob infighting, would have never happened or needed to happen. Thus, it was bullshit, pointless filler.
This is shit, but hey.
Anyway, as Matt recovers in the hospital, Kingpin tells Buck to whack Matt, and he tells the cops to close down the city. Then as Buck goes to kill Matt, he finds out that he's already gone. Matt, now back at his apartment, he finds the Punisher waiting for him. Why? He got a phone call. So now the Vigilante Task Force converges in on Matt's apartment, and we get a Daredevil/Punisher team-up action scene. Now, being that Matt did just get shot in the upper left region of his body, like no less than 3 or 4 hours ago, he should have limited use of his left arm. However, if you remember from episode 1, with multiple throwing knives impaled into his abdomen and shoulders, his range of motion wasn't impeded at all. So we'll get a full range of motion Daredevil for this sequence once again.
What else is new?
Then being up the last cop, Daredevil finds one of the casings with the Punisher logo implicating the cop as White Tiger's killer.
Cholo.
So the Punisher tells Daredevil to finish him, but he doesn't and prevents the Punisher from finishing him too.
Fucking hell.
Then they get into a pointless argument when Daredevil hears a grenade thrown into the room and they jump off the balcony. And down on street level, is there a team of cops waiting for them? No, there's nobody there except Karen.
San Francisco cocksucker.
Then they go back to the Punisher's hideout. Matt gets patched up, and Matt and Karen go to the storage facility looking for Foggy's paperwork. Then we see a looter taking advantage of the power outage and gets encountered by some task force cops. Instead of being arrested, they cap the punk.
He's dead.
So I've already shown on numerous occasions that this show is promoting a narrative. Look at the punk. Is he a minority? No, he's a white male. When he's approached by the cops and they announce themselves, what does he do? He stops and raises his hands. Again, this is the narrative without a hint of realism. The punk isn't a minority and is completely on his own. No other cohorts or swines with him like in real life. And if this was real life, him and his gang-banging pals would have just scattered like cockroaches in the light. But they don't. And what happens? The cop gives them a double tap. Why? Because in this narrative, cops are evil and do not serve the people.
This is shit, but hey.
Now wait a second. Let's look at this from another angle. If that punk wasn't looting, would he have been killed?
No.
So can we chalk this up to fuck around and find out?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Had the punk not destroyed private property and attempted to pillage a private citizen's legally purchased goods, then the owner would not have to file an insurance claim, raising his rates, which in turn raises his prices for his goods in order to stay in business. Now, did that punk look destitute or malnourished? Was he stealing a loaf of bread for sustenance for himself and his family, or was he stealing for his own benefit? You tell me, and then you tell me which party is doing more harm to society. Back to Matt and Karen. They're rummaging through some boxes of files in a storage garage. When they find what they're looking for, they discover that the port of Red Hook has no jurisdiction of the city, thus being its own independent city-state. And that is Kingpin's grand plan. All of this pointless running around and filler to string out a storyline fitted in a strand of spider silk over 9 episodes. But the show isn't over yet. We got more idiocy in store.
Shit.
The Punisher goes out to do something. What that something is, who the fuck knows? He's not investigating or staking out a position or even clearing a position. He just haphazardly goes to Port of Red Hook, apparently for the hell of it. He takes out a couple of goons, but eventually gets captured. Then the task force asks him to join them and of course, he refuses. Now, what do you think they do to him? Kill him?
Yeah.
That's what a normal plausible story would do, but this is a contrived story, so they imprison him.
Get the fuck out of here.
Back with Kingpin, his task force goons bring the commissioner to him, and he finally kills him by crushing his skull with his bare hands while he monologues about keeping the city safe. Now we get to the denouement of the show. Karen and Daredevil are looking over the port of Red Hook and see it guarded by task force cops. Then Daredevil says he's going to take back the city. And how's he going to do it? By building an army.
What?
And who is his army, you asked? A handful of cops,
So that's it?
Man Tits Cherry,
Shit.
Detective Asian,
Pathetic.
Josie the bartender,
Are you fucking joking?
and Karen.
Fucked up in the head, Karen.
And that is the end of episode 9, and apparently the first season of Born Again.
This is shit, but hey.
Now, what did this show have to do with Frank Miller's Born Again? Absolutely nothing, outside of the fact that Kingpin knows Daredevil's identity. So, let's list the plethora of deficiencies of this show. Number 1. Matt is a bitch. When it comes to his conversations, he never gets any new information. He always leaves knowing just as much as he did when he started the convo. How stupid is that? Number 2. Daredevil. He just shows up out of necessity. Daredevil shows up not out of necessity, but out of convenience. He doesn't patrol the streets like a vigilante keeps the citizens safe. No, he dons a costume when it serves a story and without any explanation whatsoever. He finds the things he needs to find pretty much out of sheer dumb luck. Number 3. Kingpin's a bitch. The head boss of the underground can't even keep an underling mob boss in check. He goes to marriage counseling and lets his lackeys drag him around doing banal mayoral bullshit when he was going to extort and bully all other city officials all along.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
Number 4. Leroy.
God damn it!
An entire half episode devoted to a bullshit non-character to shove a bullshit narrative down our throats. The fucking gall of these writers to do this, and the fucking gall of every single one that allowed and greenlit this bullshit.
Oh, fuck you! Fuck the lot of you! Fuck you all!
Number 5. The girl bosses. Every fucking girl is a fucking girl boss. From Vanessa to Karen to BB to Heather, all the way down to the fucking pinche puta.
Little fucking cunt.
Not only is it unrealistic, it is so incessantly annoying.
I saved me.
Sure, Jan.
What's the point of learning history if people aren't going to learn from their past mistakes?
I don't know why you keep hiring that fucking guy.
Number 6. The action. It sucks. Fight scenes cut to bits, no drama, nothing to cheer about. It's completely flat. Number 7. Muse. A complete waste of a villain. Supposedly, he's one of the better new Daredevil villains, and he shows up and is killed off pretty much within a single episode. Oh well.
Hey, fuck him. Fuck him in the ear. What are you talking about? Fuck him in the other ear, that son of a bitch.
Number 8. White Tiger.
Cholo.
Why he's even inserted here is like a commercial. Trying to promote a new superhero within the show is fine if it made sense, but it doesn't. First of all, what the fuck kind of vigilante is going to go prowl the night wearing a white costume? I mean, how fucking stupid is that? Maybe choose another more plausible superhero to promote instead. Oh, well, it's because White Tiger's a Puerto Rican.
Before the Puerto Ricans moved to Harlem, there was not one cockroach in Harlem. See, they brought them there. See, they Puerto Rican cockroaches.
Finally, the story. Again, what did we get? What character development did we get from our main characters? Nothing from Kingpin, and some poor decisions that Matt could hang up being Daredevil because Foggy bought it, but now he's Daredevil again. So it's completely pointless. Once again. Then, of course, the main story could have been told in a 2-part episode. All the other storylines were so tangential that they didn't even need to be told in order to tell the main storyline. Muse, White Tiger, Heather, fucking Leroy, all pointless.
Fucking hell.
And that'll close the book on this piece of shit. Fuck this show. Fuck the girl boss shit, and fuck this forced narrative that has no resemblance to reality whatsoever. So you know how I feel about the show. Yes, I can be harsh critically to shows at times, but even if this show was ridiculously stupid, there simply was no fun to be had at all in watching it. It was a boring slog with annoying characters devoid of any plausible logic. But then again, what else is new? And that'll do it for this video. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you here in my next video. Until then.
Fuck you.
This is shit, but hey,